Good morning, the Abundance Oracle here. You know where we are. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can hear the seagulls, but I can hear the seagulls this morning. And I was very lucky. I got a big kiss from someone I didn't even know. See that puppy dog? A big puppy dog is so nice. I asked permission, can I pet him? And he gave me my hand a little lick. Isn't that so nice when you meet wonderful puppy dogs? And they're just so happy. How lucky can you be? He's sitting out looking at the birds, looking at the ocean. What a wonderful morning for him. All right, well, you're with me. I feel like I should somehow, maybe I'll do this. I'll have this walk in front of me and see if by chance you can see it or not. Let me see. I'm going to try. I'm going to have to learn how to flip this phone, I guess. We have all of our little strings up here at the beach because the terns, which are little birds, are going to be laying their eggs soon. So they make us, and we all comply without any problem, but they make us, here, this is what it says. I don't know if you can even see that. I'm trying my hardest. But yes, so see, they mark the trails off, and this is so nice. Look, people put benches up here. Can you see? And over here, too. I hope you can see this. I'm bad at aiming, so no promises. You know, excuse my hay fever a little bit. This little beach walk will be very good for me. Last night, I'm actually sitting working on my computer, and I'm thinking, my thinking might have been wrong. I kept thinking to myself, if things go bad, how can I protect my family's abundance and have it grow during a tumultuous time? Then I also asked myself, on different days, I said to myself, oh, here's another one, maybe you can see it. Isn't that nice? That's a very pretty bench. Then some other days, depending upon what news came out on YouTube sometimes and on all my statistician people, I would start to think, well, what if times are really good? If all of a sudden everything turns around and things are really good, and we actually remove the FED, which would mean no possibility of any further inflation. The only way you can get inflation is by producing more and more actual Fed notes, which used to be called dollars before we came indebted to these very wealthy families that charged us interest. So I said to myself, my thinking is bad. I have to come up with a solution on, is there something that is feasible? Oh, see, look at this, another. Can you see that? If I can come up with an investment strategy that would sort of protect me in both scenarios, instead having to pick one to do whether things are good or bad. So I'm thinking, okay, well, what about real estate? Well, Real estate can go up and down because it's, whoops, oh, these are, if you don't know, these are, can you see that? These are little eggs inside of there. So real estate can go up or down. And if you've owned your real estate for a long time, which most of my real estate I have, it doesn't matter because it would have to go down so much, more than 50% to even start affecting me. But if you're new buying into, I don't know if I'd buy residential. Oh, this is a good shell, perfectly shaped. You see it? Okay, so I keep looking at places that I know are good locations, that if things are bad, as in Las Vegas right now, for example, things are already falling a lot. Florida, some places are falling in Florida, but the upper end is really holding its own, which is a shame because there's some places I'd really like to pick up a couple more things. But so anyway, back to the category, real estate. So if you're careful and you buy in what people would call, sometimes they call it landmark properties. So things that are limited in quantity in a very limited location. I'll tell you, for example, one of the things that I learned recently is the most expensive zip code per square foot in the whole, not just United States, but in the whole world is Palm Beach. So those prices aren't falling really much unless there's someone that owns something that needs to get out, excuse me, needs to get out and they've already purchased something new, so they need that money out. But mostly, nothing's changing. Now, the interest rates for the Fed, they're not lowering them, which doesn't really matter because now the banks are going to start lowering them anyway because the banks need the business. So they may not lower them a lot, but any tick down might be helpful. And it'll generate some, just keep going like this. It'll generate some business. I don't know how much business for each quarter tick or something like that. Quarter reduction, I'm sorry. I love the beach, but you can see so far. And now all these long streaks, can you see the long streaks? Those were done last night. Chemtrails, really unhealthy for humans and plants and everything. Sort of getting a war waged on us by our own corrupt administration. So that's one of the things we're trying to fix. Not good for humans being outside like this, but breathing in that air. All right, so I just am now thinking, okay, so one category. Hello, I hear you. So real estate's one category. Now let me talk a little bit about something that's really being pushed a lot, and that's gold. People are really pushing it. And one of the things I know from having been in the industry is when things get so pushed that it gets down to the general public, like on the TV or on the radio or things like that, in the old days, it used to mean for us that got in early and could anticipate trends, it would mean, time to get out. However, I think if you can afford to pick up 1 ounce or 2 ounces or 3, 4, 5 ounces without ever getting that money back, meaning that if you put those coins away in your safe or your under the mattress or in a hole out in the backyard in the coffee can, and you're not ever going to look at them again, that's a great thing to pass down to your kids. However, gold, the negative side of gold is you don't get dividends. And some of you, I know, that watch are paycheck to paycheck. I know 70% of the country is paycheck to paycheck. So having dividends or a faster turnaround on your investments would be more beneficial for you than actually putting it away for your kids. So you've got to take these things into account. One of the reasons that I didn't like the investment advisor position when I first started out was a lot of the game that is pushed through the investment industry is rather rigged by 401ks, by IRAs, and all that stuff you do not have control over. And there is, I'll go up near the beach house here, and there's, I don't know, the more I learn, the more I say you need to be able to have control over things. The real estate, you can always rent out, you can always improve, you can flip, depending upon the prices. And it's under your control. I know some states are looking to eliminate even property taxes. I think it was 1942, but don't quote me on that. We never had property taxes until then. So it's not an unlikely situation that we don't have property taxes again. And I know some states are contemplating that. But once again, I think it all depends upon who's in charge. If we get rid of the F_ED, you know what I'm trying to say, it makes a huge difference. And my concern is that the current is only allowed 3.5 more years, which is a very, very short time to control things. I think you can see that. Let me give you a little. And I don't know who's next. And I don't know, have you all heard of a thing called Manchurian Candidate? Manchurian Candidate means your opposition groomed people to look like they would be very good for the opposing team. So really good, not naturally through the years evolving up in the stratosphere of politicians, but having made a big leap. And I think we have to be careful. Oops, and look what we have here. This is in case you want to read a book. Little book library. You can drop one off and pick one up depending upon. I'm not a big reader. I read Audible. Listen to Audible because I drive a lot. And it's been so fabulous. I went through so many books that way. I really, it's not owned by a conservative company. It's owned by Amazon. But I like it a lot. And some of you, I'm trying to, I think one of my old college roommates, who I think follows on here, has a fabulous voice, and she is good at acting and things like that. That's a good side gig, to read a book and be the person. Then you get fees ongoing if it takes off. So that might be a good idea for a side hustle. And now that we're getting older, and so, well, supposedly I'm retired, but anyway, Irene, I think you would be fabulous at that. Anyway, okay. So it's just a thought. I've sort of narrowed it down a bit for myself. I do have a lot of friends still in the market. A lot of it is not based any longer on looking at the company. It's based on who comes out and says something that people like. Market goes up, market goes down. You can see how crazy it is now. All right. I guess I'm too conservative, you know. When you're a mom, you have to take care of your kids and you have to figure out what's best for them. I'm like, don't need much. All right, love you all. I know I ramble. I always ramble, especially when I'm walking on the beach with you. Still a little windy. You can see my sweatshirts on. Okay. Love you all. Have a wonderful morning. I'll probably record something else today. Love you. Bye.